Sheba. Hello, Elle. So, we do have updates tonight that are not related to stories that are about very tragic, like horror, you know, those really bad topics. And I sympathize with all of you. I completely understand, and I hope you do understand that me and Navy don't like talking about those kind of things either. You know, I just don't know what to say. I think we all get it. Though what we're going to talk about tonight is what happened after they baited the hoax against Dre. It failed on them, and because of that, they're punishing Dre. What do you do when Dre doesn't take the bait? What do you do when you don't get what you want by baiting your viral audience back to you? Newsflash, they're gone, Molly. They ain't coming back. You attack Dre, lie on her, and go to the extreme doxing standard of trying to get your patrons to incite a welfare check on her. Because, of course, now that you're not going to be able to go to her house, track her down, and mess with her, now that your audience can't go to her house, track her down, and mess with her, maybe you can get your patrons to get the police to mess with her. It's all just about vitriol. It's all hatred. It's really weird. I'm trying to understand it because I want to actually know what leads people to act this way, but to be honest, it's just hatred and jealousy. But we've got another topic tonight that I don't want to talk about for different reasons than the last stream we did, because it has to do with KJ. So you guys know that I like to follow analytics when it comes to YouTube. In fact, I'd say every YouTuber that wants to have a leg up on making videos so that they can actually get people to find their content has to be able to know something about search engine optimization called SEO. That's what a lot of YouTubers refer to it as, SEO, and they have to know a lot about how the analytics work, how popular topics work. Why is it someone can talk about a popular topic and get 1 million views? Somebody else will talk about a popular topic and get 100. And following that kind of trend, looking at why and what's gone on with those viral topics has given me a unique perspective, being able to track certain hashtags in communities. And it turns out that YouTuber that we all love to criticize, KJ, she has finally escaped. At least the numbers say that she's gotten away from those people that hate on her. Now, she still has a few of the criticizers criticizing her and doing all right, but the haters, they can't clickbait KJ anymore. So later on tonight, maybe I'll do it first. We'll see, because I want to get it out of the way. I just want it to be fast wherever we do it. But I want to be able to explain to you why this change has happened in Katie's algorithm or in Katie's YouTube, you know, her YouTube response. But don't get it twisted. Katie has escaped that group that follows her around and constantly digs at her. They're not getting any kind of reaction. They're not getting the same kind of donations and views and shares and things like that that they used to get. I mean, it's predictable. We all saw it coming, but they've been able to last, you know, go through the test of time, and they've hated on her from 2019 up to now, right? And by the way, she'll always be criticized, but that group that really hates her, they're not doing too good. So let's get that started now. Of course, if you watched the previous stream that we did, which we did it a few hours ago, remember that it's a story about very messed up, triggering topics. Most of you find some form of comfort that I always try to stay as far away as I can if I cover those stories, not to get into details and try to stay away from that stuff. And just be assured, I know I said this in my last stream, but of course I want to say it here. I'm going to keep the content separated. If we have to address that last topic again, I'm going to do it on its own, either upload or stream. I will make sure to clearly label it in the title so that those of you that watch our show and those of you that are here will know. So again, we aren't bringing up that last topic in this stream. If you want us to bring it up or talk to us about it, you probably are going to have to hit us up. Not even in our general room. We're keeping it out of all those public places. Okay. Now, that's because I hear your criticism, and I just want you to know that I agree with you. I do. And honestly, you can kind of see that that's the case because over the last many years, I try my best not to target those kind of stories. Those kind of stories, a lot of people avoid them. And that's why when certain times, certain stories like that happen, it's like an easy click into the algorithm because most people are going to pass on those stories. Most YouTubers are going to say, no, I'm not going to talk about that. We're not even going to go there. We'll wait until later. We'll do it in an update, whatever. The point is, that's what makes it kind of one of those things that some people will jump on. But either way, I don't care. I'm not putting anyone down. I think that the coverage that's out there, if you need information on it, it's all out there for you. I don't need to do it. You can find it on other channels. Let's get into what's going on now. You know that they tried to bait Dre with the hoax to get her to respond. You know that I believe they did it to get views. They did it because if you look at the algorithm in socialblade.com and you go look at Molly's channel, Justin's channel, and the other channels that talked about it, if you go look at playboard.co and you search these channels and you look at those videos compared to the videos now, if you look at how things were then compared to what it is now, they had such a different amount of views, engagement, donations. It was really big, popping off kind of topic. And they want that back. It only is going to come back when they've got Dre's attention. They got a controversy. That's why tonight's stream is about the Katie community dying and that topic with Molly, because it's the same thing. In order for the Katie community, not the criticizers, the ones that hate on her all the time and attack her, for them to get content that people will watch and click, they also must have Katie respond. So what happens when Dre cuts Molly off, gives no attention, no updates, nothing? What happens when Katie cuts off her haters through not going out there and doing live streams and screaming and crying and lying and doxing and doing other crazy things? The people that follow them eventually are either going to just keep getting low views or they're going to move on to do something else. Either way, it is 11/9 of 2022. I'm your host, UNIRock, broadcasting from the East Coast of the glorious United States of America. As always, wherever you're from is glorious too. I love people everywhere I've been. And also, normally every other year, I'm not allowed to say anything on stream because Rachel doesn't like me to, but for some weird reason, she gave me permission to. So happy birthday, honey. I love you. It's Rachel's birthday. I don't know if you guys want to tag her and tell her happy birthday. I think she's down in the chat. Let me see if I can tag her. Oh my God, I can't believe Streamlabs is actually working. She's down there. Do me a solid. Tell her happy birthday. She's you know, a little down in the dumps today. She gets that way every time there's a holiday. So don't worry, I'll cheer her up later. But this is UNIRock Live. And by the way, because it's Rachel's birthday, I'm giving everybody 1,000,000 rocks right now. Oh my gosh, Trisha, thank you. I didn't say that so that you would drop donos on me, but oh, thank you. I'll make sure not to give her any of it. I'm just kidding. Okay, for every happy B-Day, I'm going to give you an extra 100,000 rocks until I get 1,000,000. Okay, we've already got 1,000,000. Okay, let me give you 1,000,000. I'll do the countdown and we'll get into this. Oh my God. See what I do when I start thinking about other stuff? Also, make sure you hit the like button. It really does help the YouTubers that you like for you to hit the like button, to engage with the live chat or the comments. And if you want to support us, we've got Patreon, of course, and it's paypal.me/UNIRock. Also, the other stuff isn't, I was going to say that I never say, maybe what's it called? CASHAPP. Why can I never remember the name of that company? It's like it's blocked in my brain. I just can't, you know, ever recall it. No prolonged intro. CASHAPP. It's actually a pretty neat little thing, CASHAPP. It's pretty neat. I do like it. It's just newer.
$sign UNIRACHEL.
Yeah, yes. $sign UNIRACHEL on CASHAPP. Okay, I'm loading in 1,000,000 rocks, and you guys know how this works. If you type or emoji within about a couple minutes before I pay the rocks, it'll pay you because Streamlabs uses the chat to determine who it gives rocks to. I'll do a countdown. I'll do 10, 9, 8. That's to hopefully say, hey, just to make sure you get the rocks, you might want to type before I get to 0. And when I hit the payout button, it'll be when you see payout engage appear in the live chat. I've hit the payout button right before it appeared. Okay, so I'm gonna put Navy to work here. Navy, I'm a little bit pissed because we've got very interesting posts. Oh, shit. And Cherie has hooked us up too. So we've got a very cringy thing for you to see. Remember when I told everybody that Molly was getting mad because the protesters were putting in blasting music to try and get them to get their revenue taken from Molly and them, the protesters, while they were live streaming? Oh, yeah. We have the video clip.
Nice.
We have it. We get to see them get angry at the music that they're playing, and they get angry. They do. Okay, here comes the rocks. Okay, payout engaged. And we also have a post that Molly posted, on Patreon. And typically I don't show you, I know, right? Typically I won't show you creators' paywalled content because I try to respect those other creators. Now, if they're going to docs or something like that or whatever, of course I might show it to you censored or whatever, or I might, you know, if it involves something you need to see to know that I'm not lying, I'll show it to you. So I am going to show you a post from Molly's Patreon, but I'm only going to show you a part of it so that it maintains the fair use aspect of the post. But essentially it's Molly getting so angry that her death hoax didn't work. All of her attempts to get her past viral content to restart now with Dre didn't work. So what does she do to punish Dre other than go live and lie about her constantly? She tries to incite her patrons to call the police and send the police to Dre's home to do a welfare check. It's disgusting. It's messed up. Good and then Lord. She also admits to how bad of a mood she's in the posts, and she says that her body is out of whack or something like that. She says like my body is something about her body is like not in order or something. So like I don't know what she's trying to say, but I do know that yeah, she tried to incite a welfare check. If she can't get her audience, and if Molly herself can't go, you know, bug Dre, of course, she's going to send her patrons to do it. So pretty messed up, man. Pretty messed up. That's inciting. That's the definition of inciting, I think.
It's sick.
Yeah, because it's all about punishment to Dre. It's all about punishment. It's all about like, yo, I didn't get what I wanted out of Dre, so now she has to pay. Holy shit. Okay, I have the streams. Oh, I didn't even know this. So I actually have the streams where Molly is lying and hating on Dre, and we're going to get into that too. Oh, did I get something that happened? I did. Hey, thank you, Terry. Appreciate you. I love that little... You know why I love that little sticker that you just did? Because my PC controller looks exactly like it. It's got the two, these are the eyes for it. Those are the buttons and the D-pad. It's the same shape and everything. It's awesome. By the way, this is an 8-bit DO, 8-bit-do. I've had several of you ask me about it. It's wireless, it's Bluetooth, it's top of the line. It's only like 40 bucks. I would use this for any video game I play just because it's like having a PlayStation or an Xbox level kind of control. They're not paying me to say this, by the way. I wish they were, but and it's in the shape of a Super Nintendo controller, which is always my favorite thing because I don't like those sticks. Sometimes I like to hold my control like this. Sometimes I like to hold it like that. So it works good if you want to try to find one. It's 8-bit DO, D-O, 8-bit DO. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know this, but we actually have the freaking streams.
Okay, I am back.
Stop it, Molly. Stop it. Sorry, I clicked on Molly's video. I had to tell her to stop. We actually have the streams where Molly is lying on Dre. Now, she calls it Dre damage control. I'm not going to play. Of course, I'm not going to waste all of our time. It'd be hilarious to go through all of it, but we're not going to. We're going to hit some of the more interesting parts. We're going to listen for a few things. We might click around a little bit. But basically, this is how you punish Dre. So this is It's All Vaughn's Choice, and It's All Vaughn's Choice. She calls it damage control. So I wonder why she's saying it's all Vaughn's choice. It's all Vaughn's choice. I wonder why she's saying that. Do you know why she's... Cherie, a very happy B-Day uni mom. Hope you get spoiled. I'm gonna spoil her. I am. I'm gonna do my best. You know, I'm not that great at it, but thank you. Now, This is the thing. Do you wonder why she says it was all Vaughn's choice? Because I know. Because that was my response to Molly's narratives against Dre. Remember, in the beginning, when we started looking into this story, I never assumed that Molly was wrong in saying that Dre had done murmur or she had starved the kids or anything or boo-booed the kids. All I said was I need to fact check it and I need to find out why Molly has said this. Now, this is just taking you, leading you up to today. As time went on, weeks and weeks and weeks went by, I spent more and more and more and more time watching all of Dre's streams, getting caught up in all of Dre's past content. And what I found, and I got more and more confident as I took in more content, I found that Dre did not do those things. Now, there are many things I would criticize Dre on myself. And the one reason why you don't really see me doing that is not because I think Dre's the perfect person ever. I don't. It's just because Dre's going through this thing and it hasn't gotten better and it hasn't moved away from it. So, I mean, right now, I don't think that it's necessary to criticize Dre until she maybe starts making content again. But I will, just to be fair. I want to be fair to all the creators out there. I don't want to go in and just, bitch about Molly all the time or something. The point is, if Dre was doing what Molly is doing, you can damn well bet I'd be sitting here talking about what Dre is doing right now. If the situations were reversed between Dre and Molly. The only reason I'm talking about Molly is not because it's Molly. Molly is not a celebrity. She doesn't make anybody inordinate amounts of money or anything. I'm not getting paid more than I would normally make by covering this story, as some people will lie and say. And you can just actually go back and look at previous content of ours to verify that for yourself. I usually get more views playing Tarkov than I would some of these streams. My point is, Tarkov's a video game that I used to play competitively, for those of you who don't know. Anyway, though, my point is, when it comes to Molly doing this and whether or not Dre was accused with any evidence, there's none. Now, Molly, my main thing was, Marvon's an adult. Marvon loved Dre. Here's the evidence. And I played it all for you in the last few months. Dre and Marvon fed the children, and I played it all for you to prove it. Because we have the evidence in this. I don't think Molly realized how much evidence that there was when she started creating the narratives against Dre. She's used to doing it, and people don't have a lot of build-up live streams of their life to be able to, for us to go fact check. But because of the prolific amount of content that Dre did have about her and Marvon and the children's lives, we could fact check their narratives. And my whole point, whenever I'd want to dunk on Molly after showing you all the evidence of what the truth was telling you, he is an adult. He was eating the food. He loved the food. He loved the lifestyle. He was not being force-fed drugs or secretly given drugs. He was taking them himself. No shade. He's an adult. It's his choice. I'm not even going to hate on him for it. He can do what he wants. He's free. He's an adult. He has to live with the consequences. It's just how it works. The point is, though, it's not Marvon's fault that he did what he did, and it's not Dre's fault unless you've got some evidence to say it, unless you've got some logic to put behind it. Could you say that literally this and this and this happened, so it's just logical to think it did? Sure, but we don't have that from Molly. I can't make Molly's arguments for her. Right? Molly would need to go and do what I did and what others have done and what a lot of you have done and go back and watch all that content herself, pull clips, grab timestamps, grab points, use those things to make arguments. She didn't do that. She just invented a narrative. Now, if you followed, for those of you maybe that haven't been around for a long time from the beginning of this story, I'll just go ahead and spoil it for you. There is a reason that she did create these narratives about Dre. It was because without these narratives, there would have not been a fundraiser. These narratives are the key things that allow them to raise the money to save the grandchild and Marvon. I'm not going to go into full detail on it and bore you like I always do on my recaps, but I just want to bring anyone watching up to where we're at now. I think I've done a good enough job doing it, though. Anytime I countered against Molly's narratives by showing overwhelming evidence that she had created or made it up, which I've done constantly since the beginning of this story in order to see if Dre deserved what she got or not, I made sure to say, unless you're going to prove to me, Molly, or give some logic to us about how it's Dre's fault that the adult Marvon chose to do all these things and lived the way he lived, that's not Dre's fault. That's Marvon's. And she can't counter it. So what does she do? What is her response? Well, obviously, it's these two videos. Now, you can disagree if you want. If you want to think that she did this for some other reason, that's fine. I personally, though, know that she watches our show, and I know that it infuriates her when I make an argument or when I show evidence that debunks something that she's done. And I do think this stuck in her craw. Now, there is a part 2 to my theory, and I'll do it really quick. It's not just what I just said. It's also the death hoax. The death hoax was a way for her to gain back what this had given her. See, she's looking at this and saying to herself, those damn nonsense and Uni and all those people went and fact-checked me and showed everybody that I was lying, right? So she's angry about that. She's mad, and she sees the most potent point we made, other than the video clips that exposed the fraud raiser, was the debunking we did to her narratives about Dre and Marvon. And that's why I absolutely am convinced she did these streams. The thing, though, is that she attacks and lies and just basically uses it to try and harass Dre. Instead of her going through Puzzle Pieces videos and then saying to all of you, this happening is why I said this happened, or hey, look right here, this means she starved the kids. She couldn't, because it's a lie. It's not true. So instead of her doing anything logical, she just replaced any logical response with slander, defamation, and lies against Dre. And I'm going to show you some of that in just a moment, because we first are going to take a look at a Patreon post from Molly. Now, the problem is there's like 12 pages. That's the bad news. The good news is she used talk to text. So she's like pressing the button and talking, and then it's translating it, and then she's posting it to Patreon. So it's a lot of rambly stuff. So there's not a lot of, like, it's not complex. It's very easy, and we're going to fire through it so that we can get into this video, and I can kind of show you what. Now, the reason I'm going to show you this, of course, I'm not just doing it for no reason. Yeah, I want to do it for no reason. I'd like to do it just to laugh at Molly, because it's very hilarious to see how jealous she is of Dre, to see how angry she is that all of her narratives fell apart. See, this is the problem with lying. This is the problem with not going in and actually, you know, forming your criticisms against Dre, or forming your theories about Dre, or your narratives about Dre off of the truth. When someone comes in, it's no superhero. It doesn't have to be PewDiePie. Anybody that comes in, fact checks Molly, and then presents the evidence to the people. As long as the people see it and the people care enough, which you guys have been watching me, Nonsense, and everyone else doing this, that's what will tear down her virality. That's what will tear down her support for people, because they thought she was telling the truth. When they went and donated to Molly, when Molly was saying that Dre was starving this person and murmuring this person and doing all this stuff, they did it because they believed her. They didn't think it was a big lie campaign, a big harassment campaign that was just done so they could start a fundraiser and steal everybody's money. If they would have known that, the majority of people wouldn't have donated. Yeah, there would have been a couple hardcore Molly supporters that would have donated, but you get what I'm saying. Now, let's start off. Let me make sure Navy can see this, because while I'm not going to show you everything, I need to share my screen for him anyway. And let's take a look. And this is kind of weird. Molly obviously isn't, I don't know if she's depressed. I hope she's not. I don't want her to be unhappy or depressed. I don't think the things we do here online should affect our personal lives. You know, I think this is separate from it. I think if you're an adult and you want to lie on Dre, then you're going to have to deal with the fact that people debunk you. I think it's just a consequence of it. But either way, let's go ahead and take a little peep-see here. This is called My Sisters, 5 hours before the screenshot was taken, and this was posted. It doesn't matter. It's recent. She says, "Hey everybody, I want to say thank you. This has been very grueling and emotional hell of a week. For me, my entire body is completely off balance. The only positive..." Well, that's what happens when you have to breathe in all of that fish juice. Remember how at the protest, they threw all the stanky fish out there, and then the protesters had to breathe in that rancid fish juice? It'll have an effect of making your body off balance, Molly. You didn't know that fish juice did that to you? Fish fumes? Fish fumes will do that to you, Molly. Her body is completely off balance. The only positive thing I can say right now, I'm home safely with my husband, and I just got the biggest kiss from my puppy and my husband. Well, we're glad that you're home and happy. I would be unhappy and wanting to get home too if I had to inhale lots of fish fumes. Then she says, I didn't want to say it earlier because I didn't want... Nunya says it was posted Saturday. Thank you, Nunya. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys going through us reporting on that story we talked about earlier. I appreciate you going through it with us and everybody. You know, I know one of the reasons why I just don't like doing that kind of content is because it doesn't matter what anyone's opinion is. When you're talking about something that damaging, it'll really make people upset. So, you know, I appreciate you is all I wanted to say there. Okay. So then after she talks about getting home safely and kissing her puppy, she says, episode and salt, another one coming and you got to remember she's talk to texting. So some of this doesn't make sense. Another episode and salt, another one coming. I'm going to read it just as it is. When I got to my layover in North Carolina, I got very, very dizzy. I got heart palpitations. I didn't know where I was. It was kind of like I didn't know whether to ask for medical attention. You probably should have, honestly. Or just sit down and push through it. I did push through, and then I got up, got some water. When I got to the second airport, oh, hell no. Do I have to read this? This is a Wings of Redemption kind of post. Wings is a YouTuber.
She's on a Wings, isn't she?
She kind of is. Wings is a YouTuber who told a story that had to do with some really embarrassing stuff, and it went viral, and it had to do with him going to the bathroom, and that's exactly what Molly's doing. I'll read it to you, but I'm sorry that I have to do this to you peeps. I didn't know what to do. Just sit down and push through it. I did push through it, and then I got up, got some water, and got to the second airport. My laxative finally kicked in, and my husband was outside. I know it's too much information, but the Topamax that I'm taking backs me up. I know there's a lot of rumors going around that I'm drinking and taking drugs. It's absolutely not true, but let them talk. You know, I just think people believe that you're intoxicated. I said you were intoxicated because of how you were acting. I said that was my opinion, that you were intoxicated. It doesn't mean that I think you're drinking or doing drugs. You could be intoxicated for any myriad of reasons. A medical condition can put you in that state, right? You were just, you know, you need to, I think if you go back and watch the protests, you'll understand why people said those things about you. And I definitely don't think you're talking about my commentary, even though you may be. But then again, I don't care if you drink. I don't care if you do drugs. I don't care if you smoke weed. You're an adult. I am not judging you. I'm going to criticize what you post on the internet. I'm going to criticize maybe when you're doing some crazier things. And I expect you to do it to me too. And us just to go round and round because that's the internet. It's why we're here to give our opinion. But either way. She says it's not true that she's drinking or doing drugs, but let them talk. Remember, I'm all about them talking about me. I'm going to freak out if they stop talking about me. No, we do know that about you. We do. Don't think for a minute, Molly, that I don't know that you're a troll and that you get a kick out of people paying attention to you. I know that. I know that. Trust me, I get it. And at some point, when these stories are over, people will stop talking about you until maybe another type of story pops off. It's just the way it's going to work. Yes, I'm okay. I just think I did push a little too far with my body. I hadn't seen that much exercise in about a year and a half. Probably. You were going pretty crazy at that protest. There's a reason I'm reading this to you, by the way. We're going to get there. I haven't yelled that loud in about a year and a half, and I'm surprised I didn't have a brain aneurysm. Yeah, you need to stop doing it. Your body is telling you that you shouldn't have done this. I started crying outside of Deanna's house and started crying again at a gas station. So, you know, I'm going to make a criticism is why I have to read this to you, so give me a minute. If they stop talking about me, I'm done. But yes, okay, I just think I did push a little too far with my body. So, yeah, okay, I read that. So this is a double. Okay, let me go to the next one. Anyway, for her saying that if they stop talking about me, I'm done, that's, I think, her trying to bait us. She wants us to think that if we don't respond to her or talk about her, that she's going to stop doing all the bad things she does, when we all know that's not true, and that she does these things for content sake, but because she wants us to stop talking about her, it's bait. But anyway. I can tell you 100% certainty there is no game playing. I will not be going back to Savannah. Me and Dolly are the only ones that agree that the police there are very, very corrupt. Do you see what they do? These police are recorded spending all their time wearing big, giant suits, stomping through a landfill that's enormous, okay? But they're corrupt, right? Because you get in trouble for screaming, yelling, and disturbing the peace at someone's home. Sure, okay. They could be corrupt for other reasons. I'm just saying they're not corrupt for what you're saying they're corrupt for. I see with my own eyes. I feel so bad for her for what that police chief is doing to her, and she's taking on a big old beast. The press are a bunch of dicks down there. The people at the courthouse, the DA, I saw it with my own eyes. I don't think you're going to see all the footage because when those tweakers were waiting for us, we were out there doing real shit. So yes, it was all filmed, but this is real. And basically, this is her way of trying to get angry and insult the people, because you do know this, what they're talking about. Kathy says, you see a comment I posted in Discord blaming you for fake article about Vaughn. And it leads back to you. Oh, I saw that. Yes, it's you know, and every time they try to play that game with me, I'm going to remind you that I would respond to them, but they are okay with having an old creepy man on their stream, watching prawn while they talk about, you know what, that bad stuff they were talking about, and because of that, I don't want to respond to people that gross. I just really don't want to respond to people that gross. Since in the minute that they decide to come out and actually expose that person for you know, touching himself on their stream like he did, and they actually, you know, talk about how they don't agree with it and all that, and they expose him for it, maybe I'll consider responding after they do that. But of course, they're lying. I don't run that website. I guess that's all I need to say. They don't have any evidence for it because it's not true, and there you go. Now, real quick, okay, now, real quick, what they're doing is blaming the people that every time they started to protest, the community would come in and record, as you know, and the police were against them protesting, and they got in trouble. Some of them got arrested, you recall? They're trying to frame to their audience that it's not because they were wrong in acting the way they did, even though I played a video of Molly screaming, telling the grandmother to physically assault her daughter and drag her to the police station, which would get her locked up for assaulting her. And you remember all that, right? So again, it can't be Molly's fault for doing what she did. It has to be this worldwide conspiracy where even the police, the press, and all the neighbors are in on it against her, okay? So what we're doing is real. It was all filmed. This really wasn't ever about going down there to make money, and film like this is a bigger beast than we ever thought. See, she's creating a conspiracy to make an excuse for what they did. She knows, everyone and their mom now knows. If anyone has a doubt that Molly preys upon people in these tragedies, even infants that experience these tragedies for money, they don't doubt it after watching the protest. Of course, that's why she's responding like this. It's damage control. Wait a minute. Isn't that what her videos were named, that where she was lying and yelling at Dre? Huh, it's almost like projection. So then she says, and this gets gross, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, she's now going to use the baby that passed, the missing baby, to try and give herself a defense for what she did. It's very disgusting. She says, I feel so sorry for that baby. I feel so sorry for the babysitter. I feel sorry for Moron's father. He knows how corrupt they all are down there. And it's no coincidence as to why they let Dolly out of the way, that they did so quickly. They put that sign up because they want no questions asked. And when we went there yesterday just to walk by real quick with the crackheads, were waiting for us thinking they were going to get the junkie. So again, if you're wondering why she's saying this, it's because she's trying to basically make an excuse for why everyone down there was against her, why everybody was mad at her, why they look so bad. And the way they're doing that is by claiming that everyone that lived there, and claiming that everything that happened was just, they're all just a bunch of junkies. They're all just a bunch of horrible, bad people, those corrupt cops. So she says, we're going to get the junky channels some super chats and footage of all of us. They ended up getting nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. We got it all. We made a complete assholes out of them, and they ended up standing in the sun the whole time while we were in the air conditioning. We had a lovely French lunch at a cafe downtown. I'm thankful that I was invited down there to help them out. Well, now you know that she claims to be invited down. Who was there before Molly went? Do you remember? That's right. Boo Boo Betty. So she was invited by Boo Boo Betty, or more like Boo Boo Betty talked about how many super chats she was making and then told Molly to come down and get some of that money. She says, I'm thankful to have met Miss Wynette and Mr. Marvon, and crazy how it was Devin's birthday yesterday. I think she's saying Devin means Marvon's birthday. It could have been a translation thing from talk to text. Someone has to do a welfare check on that address or some. This is why I brought this to your attention. Okay, this right here. So here we go. Pause the music. Pause the music, Busy. Okay, so here's the next one. Someone has to do, and she's posting this to her Patreon, of course, to get them to do a welfare check. A welfare check on that address, or someone in Yuma sees that camper is going to be confirmed. Make sure those kids are okay, because no one's getting through to Dre. I don't have any proof at all that she was in fact cleaning the camper. I want to effing video. I want someone to call me effing life FaceTime, or else F you. It's not working. I'm getting screenshots from people that know her, but no, I'm not putting it out there. I'm not putting out screenshots of people that are in her group, nothing. I'm not putting out anything unless it's solid, even if I have to effing go out there myself. She's losing her mind. This is insanity. I just don't know right now. I really need to think. I need to rest. Trust me, you don't want to know how bad my head is pounding. But one thing I definitely want to say is I really want to thank all of you guys for sticking around for what it's worth. I'm proud of Mallory for getting her cherry popped. I'm not kidding. It says that. I'll show you so you don't think I'm lying. I'm proud of Mallory for getting her cherry popped. I'm proud of Justin for his tenacity. I'm glad to have met so many of the people that have been following me for so long, and I'm grateful for all the new patrons that have signed up. Now, that's part one to the insanity. And again, she is revolting, yes. She's trying to incite a welfare check on Dre. She's accusing Dre of cleaning a camper like she's trying to kill people or something. Basically starting the harassment all over again, because it has to be a new conspiracy now, because every time she tries to bait the old conspiracies, it doesn't work because they've been debunked. The evidence is there, and people are mad when she tries to continue those old lies. People get upset and they say, listen, we've seen the evidence. That's not true. And they get angry. They feel like they're being disrespected when Molly openly lies to their faces and tries to do it to incite them to hate on Dre for Molly. It's what Molly does. She's vindictive. You know this, right? Okay, let me close these. All right. So let me go ahead and rapid fire through these other ones really quick, because I just, I normally would go off. Hey, Jill, good to see you. I normally would go off a little bit on her, and I don't want to. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of the doxing and the threats and the harassment. I don't even care who it is that she's doing it to. If it was Dre or if it was someone else, you don't treat people like this unless you're the bad guy, unless you're the bully. But there were a few things you should probably focus in on, other than just her trying to incite people to call the police on Dre and get a welfare check on her kids. This is harassment of Dre, using the kids as a linchpin for the harassment. I really don't have to break it all down for you. You guys know how bad it is for her to do this, right? Okay. So the other things you need to focus on are the fact that, it could have been the more accusations at Dre for murmur and other things. It could have been the fact of how she's trying to frame the people from that town that were you know, neighbors, it's like, okay, so you're doing something good for the neighborhood by calling out and protesting this lady's house. But everybody in that town, everybody in that neighborhood, everybody in the nation thinks that you're doing it to make money and that you are a bad person for it, and yet that's okay. I'm not going to go through everything. Let's just go ahead and move on. I could say a lot more. Then there's a post that's titled Wrenches. Now, for those of you that don't know, one thing that Molly does to try to get as many patrons as she can, which I tried to do the opposite of, is she tries to bait you with personal interaction in order to get wrenches, and she charges $50, I believe. Navy, do you know? Isn't it like she charges $50 for wrenches and her patron?
So it's,
I think it,
yeah. So if you're a $50 Patreon, you get a wrench on her channel. Yes.
Yeah. So basically what that means is if you want to moderate for her, the only way you're going to do it is if you give her a shit ton of money every month. Now, I want you to break that down. $50 a month is $600 a year. $600 freaking dollars a year to work as Molly's mod. If I could pay my mods, I would. I mean that. I think every YouTuber out there, every good YouTuber would do good things for their mods if they could, right?
100%.
Molly wants half of a G a year to work for her. So she says, Wrenches, next time I'm alive, can you guys please push my Amazon wish list? Of course, she meant next time I'm live, you know, live streaming, but because she talks into her phone, next time I'm alive, like in her next life, like even after I die, I want my moderators, after you've paid, if let's say you're Molly's moderator for 10 years, you're going to give her what? What is that? $5,000, $6,000? Not just that, you also have to advertise her Amazon wish list so that when she comes back to life in her afterlife, she's got her Amazon gifts. Next time I'm live, can you guys please push my Amazon wish list? It's all I've got going for me in this world. Dying for books. Mom's at the doctor's now. I'm going to vote. See you later. Molly GoLightly's wish list, Amazon birthday gift list. Now, let this sink in, because I don't have an issue with you guys choosing to donate to a YouTuber for their birthday, of course. Now you might understand why, like, you know, I did wish Rachel a happy birthday at the beginning of this. And I don't care if you guys choose to try to give somebody a gift or something like that. If you want to give Molly a gift for her birthday, I don't care, right? The thing is, though, for her to say, I'm dying for books and I need this and that and this, and then you think about it and you're like, yeah, but you just made like $20,000 or $30,000 in the last couple months exploiting Dre and attacking Dre, which you're doing again, and you're trying to monetize again. And you just spent a bunch of money driving down and traveling all around for what turned out to be a negative net worth to you. She didn't gain people from doing what she did. She got a bunch of bad news attention, There are YouTube channels that would have never talked about her, that have made bunches of videos due to the fact that they were reported on the news and on the police's Twitter account for the protest that they did. How disrespectful it was. The police themselves and the news said that these YouTubers, Molly, Buttface Betty, and the others, those YouTubers were exploiting the dead children to make money. And so the fact that it came from authoritative sources like that, it really was bad for them. They've taken a really big hit. I think it's probably why her head was pounding and she was in this overall bad mood, right? So that leads, it's not the only thing, that leads to Miss Marissa, this is Our Lady. I've been watching the thing about Marvin. If he was drawing Social Security or disability or anything, maybe from the Marines, if that time of his death wouldn't all be canceled. See, what they're trying to do now is get Dre in trouble any way they can. So they've come up with this idea, and this was suggested to Molly by her patrons. Of course, they all jump on it and act like, oh God, we got her now. They're trying to get her in trouble. They're saying that if Marvin made money and Dre didn't cancel it when he died, right? When Marvin died, if Dre's still collecting the money, even though it was a hoax, remember, he's not dead, y'all, it was a hoax, that they can report that Dre is illegally still drawing money over Marvin now that he's passed away. So, number one, it was a hoax, right? Number two, it's still harassment. You're still harassing her. They're not even waiting to find out that it's true. Some of her patrons believe that Marvon passed. You got to remember, her patrons are the most dedicated Molly followers, and because Molly put out that he passed, they believe he passed, and they're trying to report Dre to get in trouble for drawing Social Security or military disability for Marvon, even though Marvon's still alive, and it was a hoax. Harassment after harassment after. There's no other way to say it, right? You got to remember, too, Dre is going to be mourning her husband. Why would you want to report her right now? Even if you wanted to, wait a month. Let her chill. Relax. Good Lord. That leads to a post called from Molly. And I'll just prove to you that this is real so that, you know, Molly will probably lie and say I'm lying on her or something. Welfare check on the house. If she's not picking up for anyone on her cell phone, and now there's conflicting stories with no proof if she was seen at the house in Yuma. Wait a minute, Molly, you said you had pictures of her at the house in Yuma. You said that your patrons were sending you pictures of Dre at the house in Yuma, but now there's no proof? Now seen at the house in Yuma, and now I hear that she's still in Tucson. No sign of the kid, supposedly homeschooled. I think this is all really concerning. I'm definitely not going to be the one to call in a welfare check because she's further trying to incite a welfare check on Dre. It wasn't good enough for her to mention it once and incite it once. She's got to really keep doing it until one of those patrons actually does it for her. I'm wondering what Leticia's lawyer that she had is still her lawyer. So she's fully flipped on Leticia here. I'm wondering if Leticia's lawyer, the one she had, because she's got to stress that I wasn't lying about her having a lawyer. We know you were, but okay. And she wonders if it's still her lawyer, as in saying that Leticia ran off with the money. So she's testing the grounds of Patreon. She's starting to throw Leticia under the bus. She's starting to finally admit, oh, all those people you doxed and lied on and attacked, like nonsense Uni and all the criticizers, yeah, they were right all along. She's starting to get to that point. She's working to the place, she's working to a point where she's going to admit to her patrons in her inner circle that Leticia ran off with the money. You're going to owe me an apology. Because remember how I was the worst guy ever? Because I was trying to convince all of you that it was a fraud raiser all that time. And the only person out there that was against me was Molly and then her followers. So if Molly admits it, well, that would mean that no one's challenging the fact that it's a fraud raiser. Because it is a fraud raiser. We know it is. We've got the proof it is. Either way. Now, there's still this big rumor that the family is making this up to collect money. So now, remember how she took the death hoax, said something herself, and then later that day tried to act like it was a rumor so that she could act like it might be true? She's now doing that from one Patreon post to the next. So on a Patreon post, somebody responds with this big thing about Dre collecting money on Marvon, even though she shouldn't be because he passed away, right? That, by the next Patreon post, turns into... there's this big rumor that the family is making this up to collect money. That is how quickly and how desperate she is to get another narrative going on Dre. I'm wondering what... okay, hold on. Has anybody seen that? There's a lot of weird rumors flying around and nothing's sticking. I think this whole thing is just a weird setup and they're really messing with Leticia. My messages don't seem to be going through anymore since the husband took the phone, and Justin and Goose and I haven't talked to her. She tried calling the other day, but I was working on the Quentin stuff with my phone charging. I never really tried streaming out there when we were protesting. Did you hear that? Leticia blocked Molly. Molly has been trying to get a hold of Leticia. Follow the money. Who's collecting, says Anon? Exactly. Just Jade says, happy birthday, UNIRach. Yes, her birthday is going to be a party. I gotta make it good. I don't know. I gotta do some like thinking. Maybe Yeah, some gin. I don't know. She said she wanted to try gin. Maybe I get her a little bottle of gin to try and see if she likes it. I don't think she's ever had it, or maybe she has. Anyway, we don't drink, so it's a rare occasion when she decides to. I can't. My stomach is jacked. Anyway, I got off point. I'm sorry. Did you hear that, y'all? Get back to the script here. Did you hear that, y'all? She's been trying to message Leticia, and she's been blocked. Her messages are returning back to her. Now, that could mean that Leticia blocked her, or it could mean that Leticia has changed her phone number or turned off her phone and isn't paying her phone bill. So, I hate to say it, I'd like for it to be that Molly was blocked by Leticia, because that would be funny as hell. It would be pretty funny. But I don't think it is, because when somebody does a fraud raiser and they realize that there is no chance now for them to lie, even to the people that were helping them push the narrative, you know what I'm saying? So they can't lie to Molly anymore. If they go to Molly, Molly is now starting to question whether she had her lawyer and did anything with her lawyer to her patrons. And of course, Leticia would have been hearing about this. So my point is, you get to a point when Molly starts to turn on Leticia, which started happening over a week ago. Of course, Leticia finding out about it, she's going to dip. And when is Leticia fully dipped? When she changes her number, maybe disables or deletes some of her social media accounts, or just stops using them altogether. I want to think that she blocked Molly, but I doubt it. I bet she just changed her phone number and is now running. Now, the other part of this is, we were supposed to know something in November around this time about her getting summoned to court. And we could be finding out about that soon. So I don't know if one of the Dono gals can update us at any time if they want to get a hold of Navy or something. I want to know. I want to know what happened. I don't remember if it was the 9th. I don't remember if it was the 12th or the 13th or what day it was, or if it was the 18th. But it was right around now. Leticia was having to show up in court and take her evidence and address the doxings and stuff like that. That would be around the time that I would think Leticia would just skip town and just run off, right? So I'm just saying here, really soon we should have an update. There should be something. What do you think, Navy? Do you think that if she decides to skip out, change her phone number, go on the lam, go on the run, do you think Leticia's just do you think we would hear about that? Or if she didn't show up to her summons, or what do you think would happen there?
I do think that if that were to happen, Molly would be number one out there blaming her, throwing her under the bus 100%.
Yeah.
That would be exactly what she's going to do, because this whole thing of it being a fraud raiser and her not using it for what it's meant to be used for, and her being tied, Molly being tied to it, this is going to be her opportunity to give her a justification for why, I was betrayed by her. I was betrayed. I'm a good person. I was betrayed. This, that, and third. And so this would probably play out for her the best way she wanted it to play out, so she can throw her under the bus and not have to explain to a lot of folk why she had to do it.
Exactly. And I think what we'll find out is some of the people that are going to know whether or not Leticia showed up or not are going to be people that filed reports. So I think that here soon, either they're going to get notified and updated somehow about the case, or they might call and find out and see what an update is and let us know at some point. But I can almost guarantee you at this point, Leticia is not going to show up and walk away in a good state, because if she could have, she would have already went on Molly's stream. They would have already shown the evidence and updated everybody with the lawsuit that they're filing against Dre. That was it. They want to keep saying Leticia got a lawyer, so we told the truth. Actually, Leticia was supposed to get a lawyer and start a long, complicated journey of fighting Dre in court due to the safety of a grandson and Marvon. So her getting a lawyer means nothing. She has to get the lawyer and then file everything and go and start meeting in court with Dre. It can't happen now. It's not, what, is she going to do it now? Well, the money's not, do you really think the money's still going to be there? Now, here's the thing. There's been enough time to where if Molly was telling the truth and Leticia handed a lawyer the retention fee, if she handed them the fee for the account so that the lawyer would take the case, by now, Leticia would have gotten the money back. By now, that lawyer would have said, listen, I can't file. Here's why. And I can only keep, you know, $800 of your money or whatever it costed me to do this. Whatever that lawyer found out, they obviously found out that they couldn't go to court against Dre. And so they, if Leticia would have given that lawyer the retainer, the lawyer would have given it back by now. There's been more than enough time passed. They're not just going to sit there and hold all of Leticia's money forever. Okay? So, what does that tell us? That why didn't Leticia get, you know, find out that she can't sue Dre, she can't have legal action against Dre, that whatever the excuse is, why didn't she tell Molly? Why doesn't Molly care? That's the biggest side of this story. If Molly wants us to believe that Leticia got her too, she should be trying to ask Leticia for the proof. She should be demanding the proof. She should be trying to get it from Leticia, and she should be updating us. A lot of people aren't going to believe Molly, even if she does it, but at least some of Molly's followers were. It'd be a benefit for Molly to do that for herself. The fact that Molly isn't even concerned with finding out what Leticia's done with this money goes to show you that obviously she's protecting Leticia. And I don't know why she's going to keep protecting Leticia while throwing Leticia under the bus. But if in order for sometimes this will happen in fraud raisers, they got to keep appearances up so that they don't get called a liar. So they're going to try to throw Leticia under the bus in one way, but they're not going to logically go and do the other things that you would expect to see if they were being serious, because you're not just going to throw Leticia under the bus and say, I wonder if she has that lawyer she got. You know she doesn't have that damn lawyer. The lawyer likes to just collect Leticia's money and sit on it? Yeah, right. Okay. That only worked in the beginning of the story because it was still possible that the lawyer was going to file. It's not anymore. It's not. You obviously, the fact, and this is another thing that Molly doesn't realize, you're acting like there needs to be a welfare check done on Dre due to the fact that she's watching those kids. That only makes sense if you truly believe the kids were in danger, Molly. You didn't. You and Leticia didn't believe the kids were in danger with Dre, or you would have tried to help them. You didn't even need money to do it. You could have just went to the police and tried to get the police to go, you know, investigate. You didn't even do that. And I hate to repeat myself, but then again, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've said this. So, Molly, you should stop with all of these weird narratives about welfare checks and whether the kids are safe with Dre, because if you truly believe that, you're just as negligent as anyone else in this story. You're just as negligent as Dre, right? You want to say Dre's a danger to the kids and you and Leticia actually can do something about it, but you're just going to sit there and do nothing, right? Nah, you don't believe that. You don't believe it. You know that it's not true. You would have done something by now. So now we've gotten pretty close to the bottom, and I've kind of given you everything I want to give you when it's, you know, this is what she does with Patreon. It definitely is cult-like. I don't want to go as far as to say that she's running a cult on Patreon. I think she's running a scam on Patreon. I think she's using her patrons to do her dirty work. I've seen enough evidence of it now. She uses them for welfare checks, to get doxing information. She knows that if she does it herself, it'll open her up to legal penalties. So she's having one-off her patrons help her. Now, here's the thing with that. When using Patreon to do it, you do realize that Patreon can go in and see all that, Molly. You do realize this, right? They can see what you've been posting, what you've been telling them to do, what your patrons say in response to what you post. So it's kind of strange to see all of this and get updated on that there is factual evidence to back the claims that are made about you and your Patreon, but we don't need to talk about that live. We'll talk about it somewhere else. The point, though, that we need to go next, the place we need to go next is right here, where Molly has been finding and trying to address the missing puzzle pieces videos. And she's doing it on a stream on her main channel. She's trying to address these videos because she knows these videos were the thing that caused the majority of people to stop listening to her take on Dre. When people saw that the narratives Molly was spinning had, hours upon hours upon hours of video evidence that Molly was lying about Dre, it got so bad. She got so much pushback from her audience on the internal audience that she had to go to her main channel and address the videos. It's almost like she had to go there to convince the audience members that were calling her out, like, dude, you lied to us about Dre. She's got to go up there and say, well, yeah, well, if I lied to you, then why am I willing to address these? But did she address these videos? Did she actually debunk or, counter the information that's in the Missing Puzzle Pieces videos? No, she didn't. She literally just sat there whining and crying, and I'll show you myself right now. Okay, sorry. I wanted to tell Rachel that when you guys... Oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
Well, Cherie told us apparently you have part 2 up when there's a part 1.
Oh, no, I got part 1 right here. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
yep.
deal.
I got
good
part
deal.
1 right here too, Cherie. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. You got to
Happy
keep it
birthday
straight.
to Rach.
Well, I was going to let her know that any of the messages, the super chats that came in, saying happy birthday to her, I told her to track them so that she can, have that money for her, self. I want her to make sure she tracks how much came in that way so that, she can spend it. I don't want to throw it into the business money.
The Unifam mom, for those that don't know, Rach is the Unifam mom. She does so much.
She really is the uni mom. She kind of like takes all the stuff that when I stream and stuff and then I'm editing, I get really busy. So she like compiles everything for me I'm probably like 10 stories behind because she really wants me to do a video on the lawsuit between the YouTuber Carl Jobs and Billy Mitchell. I'm not going to talk about it. It's just another lawsuit video we're doing. Yep. And then the Elon Musk Twitter thing, like I'm way behind because she wants me to be updating everybody on that. She's the one that basically keeps me on track. And here's why. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but way back in the day, the first video that I ever had that had over 100,000 views, Rachel picked it out and basically brought me the story, told me, we'll do this, and do this. And it was off of a Spanish article claiming all this stuff. Anyway, I did it exactly how she told me to, and it went viral. Well, it didn't go viral. It went viral for my channel because I only had like 300 subs at the time. So that's viral for my channel. And it got a lot of views. It stayed in the algorithm for the entirety of UNIRockTv also. So anyway, that's when I started telling her, you need to start picking these out more often because they work. So she's got a really good eye.
She really does. Kendra Kate said I sent her money on your PayPal.
Oh, thank you, Kendra. I'll take a look real quick. The Pikachu shirt I stole from my son. He doesn't fit in it anymore. That's why it looks so old. Here, let me zoom in on it here. That's why it looks all worn and old. It's because my son wore the living... Thank you. My son wore the living hell out of it. And my son actually is, taller than me now. And he doesn't fit in this, and it barely fits me. So, I'm going to try to lose some weight so I can fit into it. But yeah, I stole it back. I stole it from him, so. Okay. Those imaginary kids of mine.
Right, the ones that don't exist. That I've heard talk before, yes.
The ones that like to come in here and, mess with you guys while we're in Discord all the time don't exist. Okay. So basically we've got It's All Vaughn's Choice Part 1. It's on Molly's channel, and then it's all Vaughn's Choice, Damage Control Part 2. And for those of you that don't know, I'm going to just kind of sum it up and kind of show you what she's doing. So she's going through the missing puzzle pieces. As you can see, puzzle pieces, the missing puzzle pieces, these are shorts and these are other videos. And she's watching the videos that I've shown you months ago when she was attacking Dre for all these narratives. And I showed you the raw streams. I showed you long streams. There was the last time we did this live, it was when Molly and a few other people were using this narrative about this one specific video clip of Dre, and she was like abusing her son by talking down to him because he wanted a donut and he wanted a drink and she wouldn't get it for him. And what we ended up finding was the original live stream from Dre. And we went through and found what they clipped out of the original live stream and showed you how they took a stream that was hours long, where she had fed these kids all kinds of food, all kinds of drinks, hugging, kissing, and loving everybody. And they cherry picked 10, 20, 30 seconds here and there and here and there to try to build a fake narrative that Dre was abusive towards her kids and that Marvon didn't really love Dre and that she was starving the kids. Now, all the things that Molly has ever said about Dre, all those things Molly made up out of nowhere, all the things that there's no evidence to back up whatsoever, that Molly herself had to cut and paste, which is literal defamation. That's why Dre has such a lawsuit against Molly, because you can't do that. You can't take what somebody's done. You can't try to affect their business and their life and go viral, assaulting their actual business and their actual livelihood with things that aren't true, that you like edited them saying something they didn't say or whatever. You can't do it. And based on the attention you get from pushing fake videos like that, unless they're labeled parody or they're labeled a joke or something like that, if you do get a lot of attention and it can do a lot of damage to someone, it's not just that they did that. It's that after that, they had people go and film her house. They had people dox her. And Dre and them got inundated with messages on Facebook and other places where people said that she'd killed her husband and did all these crazy things, starved and abused her kids. The evidence is so thick that Dre has one of the best guaranteed defamation lawsuits on the internet, next to Nate the Lawyer against Bouzy. And this isn't like some Katie Joy lawsuit where some dude who got accused of sexual harassment against Katie 4 or 5 years ago decides that he's going to sue Katie 3 years later after signing an NDA with her to try to keep everything secret. That's not like this at all. This is literal hard evidence. You have the defamation. You've got the act of defamation. You've got manipulated video evidence, a complete lie, complete false story, pushed as if it was real, that has real damage, real consequences, real harassment. You get me? Now, Molly's response is not to explain where she came up with her narratives. This is really interesting because most YouTubers, after being busted lying like Molly has on Dre, they wouldn't be this, sorry, but this dumb to sit here and address the evidence that debunks you. And you'd think she'd lie. You'd think that she would try to make something up so that she'd look better. No, she just attacked Dre the whole time. Just lied and attacked Dre. So if nothing, she made Dre's case against her so much stronger.
Now, if anyone who has known this couple... What? No, we don't get to do that. All right, we're going to go...
Just go pause it and go back and read it. Just because you read at literally 3 words a minute doesn't mean that none of us could have, restart it and actually read it.
Go up. What's this? Checklist.
It's another video. It's another short.
Another cooking live. This family is always eating. Yeah,
that's a fact, Molly. This is a fact. This is why we called you out.
You're always eating. You're always eating, Molly.
Well, I know, but that's the thing. She tried to say that Dre was starving the kids. And this evidence was posted to expose Molly as literally just making it up out of nowhere. And the first videos that Molly did when she started attacking Dre were the starvation videos, the abuse videos, and things like that. Then she went into how she murmured Marvon. And out of nowhere, we're talking a woman that never talked about Dre before in her life just does this out of nowhere. And everyone is sitting there looking at it and going, wonder why Molly decided to pick that narrative. Well, a couple weeks later, she is using that narrative to steal everybody's money with a fraud raiser. So it's obvious what Molly did. It's obvious what happened. She bumped into Leticia, met Leticia in the Facebook groups. We have proof Molly was in some of the Facebook groups. We got proof Leticia was there. Right when Molly starts to give her narrative is when, you know, she would have bumped into Leticia. The only thing we don't have are the early communications between Leticia and Molly, but it's pretty obvious what happened. Though, listen to Molly's excuse. You'd think Molly would be explaining how she wasn't lying. Maybe she should apologize to Dre. You think she's going to apologize to Dre? Maybe Molly was lied to by Leticia. Maybe she was lied to and she actually believed that Dre starved her kids, believed that Dre boo-booed the kids. Now, seeing these video clips, Molly would, you know, be able to apologize for that, realize that she was wrong, but she doesn't. Instead, she does this.
Meal enjoyed by Vaughn. Another example of the love they share. Another.
Watch how angry this makes her. Molly is starting to realize, like, oh shit, it wasn't just UNIRock saying it. Now, she does lie. I did mess up at one. I said she doesn't lie. She did tell one lie. She tries to say that Puzzle Pieces videos are chopped up and edited together, when that was actually what Molly's videos were. We fact-checked Puzzle Pieces videos. Those videos come from live streams, long live streams. If you watched my coverage over the last few months, you have seen those live streams. I have shown them to you. We went through and showed you where Puzzle Pieces videos come from, where to find them, how to find them, and watch them yourself. So that's one thing you need to listen for, but take a listen.
Cray business project.
Now, I know. MGL, thank you, Sheila. MGL did put it out. It's just that me and a lot of other people believe that the reason Molly went from never talking about Dre to accusing Dre of all this stuff is because she got it from Leticia in a Facebook group or something, did 2 weeks worth of content, and then brought Leticia on as if she just met her and started to do the fundraiser. Some people believe different things. You guys know what I believe, so I just want to let you know I said that.
Okay, Vaughn and Raza. Okay.
Look how everybody's just showing you so much love, Raza.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Molly, it's not going to work. There are hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. This is what they did. This is Dre and Marvon's content. You can't say you didn't know this. You can't act like you didn't know. This is why they had 700,000 subscribers. This is why they had all these devoted followers. They did these kind of live streams where they cooked and showed their family life to their audience. You lied about Dre and Marvon. You have lied this whole time. Is it possible that you don't know that? Could you really be this disconnected with reality that you truly believe the garbage that you spit?
You should supposed to show daddy love, not me, not too much love, but you're supposed to show daddy love.
What are we seeing here, Molly? You realize that for you to have told the truth on Dre, Marvon and Dre must have cooked this massive amount of food, and then even though we do have video of all the kids eating, I guess, you know, maybe they faked the video of all the kids eating all the time and they ate all the food for themselves. I mean, I don't know how you could have told the truth. The videos debunk you.
You ain't gotta show me nothing, man. A high is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, say he's the best little man ever.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Molly, Marvon feels that way about Dre. Dre talked the same way. They all loved each other. It wasn't just Marvon loving his kids. Marvon and Dre loved their kids.
Oh, look at that.
It's the Earl and Earl show.
I do kind of miss being Earl. I'm gonna go back to Grandpapa.
Heavily edited.
Heavily edited. Heavily edited. What did they cut out? Him smacking the kid? What are you trying to say? What was edited?
Exactly.
What could possibly be heavily edited out of this?
So how are we to believe her? Like, she's this like big YouTube creator who does all these edited videos, that somehow
No,
she's an
she doesn't
expert on
even-
editing things.
She literally
right?
sees that they, of course, the only thing that's edited out of this is nothing. Like while he's sitting there just going like this.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing edited. I've shown this. I have shown the original of this. It's literally just Marvon, you know, doing this and not talking.
Making food.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they take the big long pauses out where he's not saying anything because there's no context there. It's useless. It's a waste of time. Okay? You can fact check it yourself, Molly. I'd love for you to tell us what was heavily edited out of it, because this isn't Dre, this is Marvon. What are you trying to say Marvon did?
Look at this.
You're making an accusation towards Marvon. You realize that, right? Right, Molly?
Girl.
We'll do back
Oh, real quick, she's got to scroll off
to
that.
this one. Anyone who has followed this couple knows they don't play about their food. Let's watch.
Do you think that she's
What does that
actually
even
starting to
mean?
realize what Dre's saying or what the video's saying? Because she's
Know what
watching this
Molly's
video.
saying. They don't play
She's-
about their food.
They eat 3 meals a day. They cook big meals. They feed their kids. They make their kids eat all of their meals before they have dessert. Like they're very, you know, family oriented about their meals, you know? Like they don't just let their kids spoil dinner, nothing. And I've shown all this months ago, but somehow Molly just found it or what? I don't know what she's trying to, you know, you can almost tell she's feeling some guilt. Like it's
She's
starting to
backtracking.
sink in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But she does push against it. Hold on. I got to grab my vape really quick. I don't know if you want to yell at the chat or something, but
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. So everybody just want to put out there, you know, it's UNIRACHEL's birthday, and y'all show us some love in live chat. Like, she is really the UniFam mom. She does so much stuff in the background. And, you know, God bless her. She takes care of Uni all the time. You know, she's always there for all of us. And so it's an amazing thing that she does and nobody ever sees.
Very true.
And on top of this, like, so what? So Molly now is seeing that Dre and Vaughn fed their kids not only all the time, but very healthy meals.
yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. And the thing is, I looked up their diet, and the only thing controversial about the adult diet was the powders that they ate, the kratom and stuff like that, which I still to this day have no evidence they let the kids have any of that stuff. They did basically had a vegetarian diet that has some certain types of food that are very acidic excluded, and has other types of food that vegetarians don't eat included, even though they aren't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily violate a vegetarian diet. And Molly and them went around acting like they were malnourished, that the kids were malnourished. I remember hearing that because of the food that they gave the daughter and the son and the chicken, that it was causing seizures and all this stuff, right? These are all these dangerous, defamatory narratives that were pushed by Molly right before Leticia appeared on her channel, and then used those narratives as why they needed a lawyer to sue Dre to help protect the kids and the Marvon from Dre. Now, you can hear the guilt, even though I don't think Molly feels much guilt. I think what she's feeling is fear for
Regret.
herself. Yeah, regret
yeah.
and fear. She's feeling fear that, oh God, Uni's not lying on me. Dre could sue the fuck out of me. Oh shit, like I am attacking a loved mother, not a abusive mother, right? So
Yes.
I think these are the feelings you're seeing in Molly's head as she's watching these videos. And this is what gets me. I don't know if she watched this as an act, because she has to know this. I screamed from the rooftops for, I don't even know, weeks upon weeks upon weeks about how Molly was ignoring the source material of Dre and Marvon's live streams to create narratives against Dre and Marvon. And this is at the beginning of my coverage. So for Molly to try to act like she had no clue that they actually had, that these videos existed, It's not going to work, Molly. You need to come out and apologize to Dre, apologize to Marvon, because you have been disrespecting Marvon every time you attack Dre with a lie, with something that is not true, that you created out of nowhere. And you should apologize to this family. You literally, if you don't, I don't know how you sleep. I don't know how you exist, because it's crazy.
So she wants everyone to know how much this particular diet was so important to everyone in this family.
Molly, their diet was just a basic vegetarian diet. The kids and Marvon and Dre ate a basic vegetarian diet. They just excluded highly acidic foods. Now, I will not make excuses for the adults in the family eating those non-FDA approved powders. They were addicted to non-FDA approved powders like Kratom and a few others I don't remember the names of. And I don't suggest any of you eat those without medical supervision or whatever, whatever responsible thing I have to say. Look, I'm not saying that I judge Dre and Marvon for taking it. Just like if Molly wants to go drink a beer or smoke a joint, I'm not going to judge her. But I'm just saying, for you to act like their diet was some kind of... I have thoroughly researched their diet. I even looked up the kind of mushrooms and the kind of crust that they were cooking onto the mushrooms. I looked at all the food they were making, everything in their kitchen, and did exhaustive research on it. I have found that you lied about their diet. The only thing you didn't lie about were those powders, and you basically manipulated the fact that they were abusing those powders, and you tried to say that they were poisoning their entire family, even though there's no evidence she gave those powders to the kids.
Yeah. A lot of the mushrooms I get from the Asian store. You want to check out...
Molly is very jealous of Dre. You can tell.
The Asian store. I am telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's super jealous because she has a happy family.
Don't turn on the one here, though.
She's
no,
a very
ma'am.
beautiful
no,
woman.
Ma'am.
She's thin.
Like, what is going through Molly's mind as she watches this? Like,
Okay,
jealousy.
how did you make this? Damn, and then...
Is this the one where the child makes the... Oh, yeah, this is the one where the daughter makes the muffins.
Cracks like a cupcake normally does. Good job, baby.
Yeah, good job, baby. She's talking to the daughter.
Yeah.
Later on in this live stream, the daughter comes in and talks about cooking the food, and Dre and Marvon taste it, and they're talking about how good it is and all this stuff. And here we go.
Well, see
Here we
how
go.
much she's enjoying and eating it? Emphasis.
This is the daughter's cooking. This is not Dre's cooking, Molly. His daughter made this. I don't think he's faking it. Guess what? Guess what, Molly? I don't know if you know this. Dre didn't make this.
Oh, that was good.
She's emphasizing
super
how
jealous.
much...
They are doing it for their daughter. You can go back a month and a half ago to the stream where I watched this whole video, the source of it, and I showed everything. They are doing it for their daughter. They're trying to make their daughter feel good about her cooking. Pug says she should be thinking maybe I should try this and get thin too. Well, maybe she should try this and actually be happy so that she stops being so evil all the time, right?
And what we're seeing here is that, so the difference what we're seeing here is that we see a husband and wife together on live streams, right?
Yeah.
Doing things together with the family. What do we see with Molly? Her by herself.
And
all
well,
the
her
time.
being mean to her family, she's calling in her husband only when she needs an out for
Right.
something atrocious she's done, right? And I don't know, they could have the best relationship ever. I'm not going to do what Molly did and judge Molly's home life. I you know what I'm saying? I'm sure some people can due to some of her past live streams, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, just visually, right? And without judging the actual, what the actual home life is, just visually, look at the difference between where you're
Definitely.
stopped right now, where you paused, and where she is and where Von and Dre are, right?
And Shopaholic makes a
kissing
good
her
point.
on the head, right?
Yeah, Shopaholic says, look at Vaughn kissing her, and people say they weren't happy. Come on. Molly said they weren't happy. Molly, this is not far gone from when he did what he did. You can tell because of how skinny Dre is. The further you go back away from his accident, the thicker Dre gets, okay? This is pretty close. And this is just one out of many streams.
what I see on Molly's face right now, with her head in her hand, looking at this, right, is absolute fucking jealousy.
Well, jealousy, but also I do think she's realizing how wrong she's been. I think she's convinced herself. I think she had two factors. One, she had an external source come to her in the very beginning and tell her everything about Dre. And I do think it was Leticia. I think that she met Leticia earlier than what she publicly shows. This is my opinion. And I think Leticia put all of the narratives about Dre starving the kids, abusing the kids, hurting Marvon, being a murderer, setting up all these things. I think that was put into Molly's head by Leticia, and Leticia blindly trusted Molly and went in the beginning of this story literally just thinking that Leticia didn't lie to her. Now, here's the deal, though. This is what Molly doesn't. Molly, I'm going to help you. Normally, I don't predict ahead into the future when I debunk you so that you will walk straight into the trap that's been laid through my debunking. I'm going to go ahead and do it for you because it's over. This whole story is done. You've already done all the damage you can do. You're not going to be able to undo it, so I'm just going to help you out. We showed months ago all of this, and you ignored it, but you saw it. You were bitching about my streams back then, showing that you'd watched them. Your audience was in my streams, you know, constantly talking shit. You knew about these streams when I went live originally, and that's the trap, because I know what you're going to do. Janie, thank you. 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate it. And I know what Molly's going to do. Molly's going to try to pretend as if, oh my God, I just learned all of this. It's not going to work, Molly. One facet of my content is that I'm very nice and I'm very giving when I'm debunking someone in the beginning. I'm like, that's why I was so nice to you in the beginning, is because I knew at some point you would try to make the world think you just didn't know that Dre took care of her family. You just didn't know that Dre didn't starve her kids. You just didn't know that Dre and Marvon were in love. And when you go to do that, the fact that I was doing nice content towards you, I wasn't yelling at you, I wasn't flipping out at you, and you were watching. You were bitching about me, and you were proving to people that you knew what I was putting out. Your audience was seeing it, and they were going back and making excuses in the live chat for it. You knew about it then. So you can try to play the game where you're just now learning about how many lies you told months ago about Dre. It's not going to work, because there is no coincidence. You didn't just character assassinate Dre and attack Dre and lie about Dre and call her an abuser and insinuate that she murdered her husband for no reason. You did it so that Leticia would be able to get a lawyer with the money from your audience. This is the building blocks of the fraud raiser.
Heavily edited footage. Even
now, see how she's making excuses? Heavily edited footage. Heavily edited. What do we need to see about that empty space where they're not near each other? The point of the video is to show you the love, the eating of the food, and the fact that you were wrong. The only thing edited from these videos is empty space. You can't say it's heavily edited because I've got all of it streamed on this channel already. All of the witnesses, all of the viewers, they've seen it with their own eyes. They even know where to find it. They know where to find the sources because of us. So this is going to backfire in your face. You trying to play the game that this isn't real is going to backfire in your face. And you trying to play the game like you didn't know this from the beginning is going to backfire in your face.
even if it tastes like crap, make sure you show your love for me and how great this diet is.
The daughter cooked it. Why are you talking so much smack to their daughter, Molly? Why are you insulting Marvon's daughter's cooking? Marvon's daughter cooked that for her dad. And you're going to sit and put down the daughter's cooking, and you're going to put down Marvon's response to his daughter's cupcakes, huh? You are heartless. You realize that? Hey, is Uni lying about it? You can literally go back and watch this video and see that they both thank the daughter for me. That's why she said, "Great job, baby," to the daughter. So you got to be heartless. But see, I knew the whole time you didn't really care about Marvon. And I knew the whole time that you didn't really care about those kids, or else you wouldn't be putting down the daughter's cooking and her father's response. You know, she probably holds this as a cherished memory now. She holds this as a cherished memory. One of the last times she got to cook for her father, and oh man, he loved it. And you're trying to devalue that for that little girl. You should be ashamed of yourself, Molly. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Always 3 kisses. Okay. Vaughn clearly on board with this way of life. There you go. It's right in front of your face.
Yes.
Always 3 kisses.
They've debunked you. They've debunked you, Molly. This is you being debunked. This is you being proved a liar. She's trying to act like this is fake or something. What you said was fake, Molly, not this. What you did was fake.
This is damage control.
Damage control. It's not Dre. It's not Dre. Dre is not uploading this. This is not her. She's convincing herself that Dre is this YouTube channel so that we know that this is one of her dedicated followers that's been a member of hers for a long time. And that's why they knew where each of these streams were, and they went and grabbed the clips and debunked you, Molly. But the thing is, you're going to sit and try to devalue this person as if it doesn't matter if it's Dre. It doesn't matter if it's not Dre. The point is, what is shown in this video shows that you lied on Dre.
Times 10, amped up, and still very much in love with his wife. We know this is you.
We know this is Dre. So you're saying that the original video is heavily edited, it's not real, and that Dre has went back and carefully deceptively edited videos to try and frame you as a liar. This is what you're going to say, Molly. That's what you're going to say.
And her proof is what? That she says it was edited?
She's just saying it.
Like, show it.
Well, like, she's desperate. She's not going to show it. She's lying. She's desperate. She's putting on an act for her audience. She's trying to keep her audience hooked into the bullshit. See, so many of her audience members saw our show and then went and saw this channel and realized that they were being lied to by Molly. Yes. That Molly has had to do this to try to get them back, to try to keep them. Now, if you combine this with what I showed you earlier in this stream, those Patreon posts, notice how she's trying to butter up, play the victim to her audience, butter up her audience, act like bad things didn't happen during the protests. And then she's trying to love bomb them and say, I'm so glad those of you that are still here. Now, you notice after she says that, she then says, and hello to all my new patrons. You're not putting those posts out to say hello to your new patrons. You were putting those posts out for damage control. You're projecting. You are projecting. You were the one doing damage control, and you're trying to make it look like Dre is the one doing damage control.
Trying to convince the world.
No. These videos do not convince the world, Molly. It is the original live streams that they come from that are still public on Facebook.
Yes.
And my audience and the entire YouTube community knows this because for months I've been sitting here watching them, with them, and fact-checking them because unlike you, Molly, my content, I don't come here with nothing. I don't go and waste the time of everybody by coming here and just, putting on some little performative act or something. We're actually doing something with the content. Maybe it's not that important. But in the end, it's showing the truth. Months before you get to lie today about it, I've already exposed you as a liar.
Bella is Dre and Vaughn's oldest child. It's not the biological daughter.
So? Doesn't matter if it's not the Vaughn's bio child. He loved the child. He raised the child. He lived with the child for 8 years. So he's still the father.
Like his daughter.
Yeah.
Vaughn. She is planning to open her own alkaline vegan food truck.
Does she not know what an alkali vegan is? Did she bother not to go study it like I did? Like you now know thanks to my content about alkali veganism that I put out in the beginning of our investigation. Does she not understand that an alkali vegan is pretty much just like any normal vegan. There's just a few differences, and they're not. It's not, if you're going to say that an alkali vegan is a bad diet that's going to kill you or something, you're saying that all veganism is a bad diet and it's going to kill you. Now, you know that I joke all the time about vegans because it's just a funny little meme from my channel. Yeah, because I actually am a red meat eater. I eat fish, I eat chicken. And I just think it's funny. It's a little shtick. I really do respect people that are vegans. One of my favorite YouTubers, Doc Lupo, is a vegan, and when he came and stayed with me and Rachel for a while, for like a couple weeks back in the beginning of our YouTube career, he cooked vegan food for us, and I loved it. And, you know, if I could afford it, it's way more expensive than anything else, and you have to know how to prepare it, and you got to track your protein. If I could do all that, I might be one. Actually, I wouldn't, because I still love meat, but at least I'd eat less meat if that was the case. But the point is, if you're going to say that what Dre and Marvon did, because I've tracked it, I tracked their diet through their live streams. If you're going to say that that's a bad vegan diet, you are literally saying that every vegan diet is bad. And you're going to be talking to 30% of the population in some states.
Is she now? What is she, 14? She's got goals. Before this, stray fierce.
Notice how she's kind of mocking the daughter here. The daughter
She is
legit.
mocking her. It's horrible.
Yeah, she's mocking. See, this is another example. Now, finally, the mask is slipping off of Molly. She's so pissed that she's being debunked. She can't even hold in her contempt that Dre's child can choose to be a vegan. And she can have a vegan truck, and she can actually do this if she wants. Molly has to mock the child. Now, again, if you just tuned in, Molly mocked the child and cooking those muffins a little bit earlier, and acted like Marvon eating the daughter's muffins was Marvon faking it or something, because Molly thought they were Dre's muffins, but they were the daughter's. And she said a lot of disgusting stuff about Marvon eating the muffin and how, you know, he's just faking it so that Dre feels good and stuff, when in reality, the daughter is the one that cooked it. But anyways, this is just her further mocking the daughter.
Fiercely shielded the girls from the public. Why would she do that?
She shielded the girls from the public. Why would she do that? What are you talking about? Like, again, you're making another accusation, and the accusation you're making, you're pretending is it Dre. But the point is that Marvon felt the same way Dre did. Marvon supported that lifestyle. He was 50% of it. He was not 0% of it, 1% of it. He wasn't even 30% of it. He was 50% of the way that those kids were being raised. I have the evidence. I've shown the evidence. You don't get to sit here and just pretend that the reason they're homeschooled, or the reason that this happened, or the reason they're a vegan is because of 99.9% Dre. It's just not true. You've watched evidence for yourself that debunks you, and yet you're still pushing the lie.
As they get older, they're now wanting to start their own businesses. And, well, yeah, to get out of the house.
To get out of the house.
No.
To get out of the house. To get away from Marvon and Dre, because she wanted to start this business when she was living with Marvon and Dre, when they spent all their time with Marvon and Dre. So you're saying that Marvon and Dre that are doing something wrong to these kids, and the kids want to get away from Marvon and Dre. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to say that no, that only goes for Dre. So why does all the proof prove you wrong, Molly?
And get away from you.
Well, the thing that kills me is that
save up enough money to run away from home and get a slice of pizza, you think?
Run away from home.
Why are you acting like she can't have pizza? Like, they've had long talks on stream with their kids. They've let them know that they don't have to eat vegan on stream. You just haven't seen these streams, I'm sure. This is older content. But it does apply, because what it proves is that they were never forcing their kids to live a vegan diet.
Well, the thing is that, like, what you're saying is that you cannot inspire your children to do something that you're a part of. Like, so what this speaks to me is that the child was inspired by
they have a right anyway.
They were doing, right?
Well, yeah, and Marvon and Dre have a right to not serve meat in their home if they don't want to. Yes. They have a right, as long as they're not starving the kids, or as long as they're not providing the kids with an adequate diet. They have a right to not serve meat if they don't want to. So Molly basically is just being a control freak here. She's trying to say, no.
Well,
you have to conform to the entire world, or else we're going to call you a child abuser.
Well, what she's claiming is that the child, looking at her mother and her father being entrepreneurs on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, with the beauty aspect and then the aspect of the diet aspect and all that kind of stuff,
is a bad thing.
It's not. What it is that it didn't inspire this child to want to start their own business, but the only reason they want to start their own business is because they want to escape their parents. No, what it looks like is that this child watched her parents, right,
have a
become
successful
entrepreneurs, be
business
successful,
that makes a lot of money, be healthy, skinny people off the food they eat, and wanted to emulate that.
And want to do the same thing. Yeah,
Now,
do the same thing. And so they said, I want to start a food truck that
you know what
does
else?
the same thing that we're doing here.
What else she's doing is acting like that Dre would turn off the camera whenever the kids would object or something. No, she let the camera run when they had arguments.
We've heard it.
Yeah, they've never cultivated. Dre never cultivated the live streams. Dre never rushed over and shut them off when an argument broke out. She never shut it off when one of the kids wanted another donut and started to cry, or when one of the kids wanted another, cup of some drink that they shouldn't have and instead should have water. And when one of the kids wouldn't get up and get their own drink, and Dre and Marvon would say, if you want a drink, get up and get it yourself, teaching them a little independence. Molly would, as you all know, show it as a bad thing, but of course.
Right.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And I'm just saying, anyone who's out there who's a parent, or like I'm an uncle, right, and it had to deal with my niece and nephew, that is what kids do, shockingly
exactly
enough.
So let's try to skip through some of this, because I could go on for hours if we don't get through it. And we have another video.
But she makes my ears bleed. Yeah,
we have a part 2 that she calls damage control. So she does part 1, where some point at part 1 she determines that it's not that the person that posted these videos is actually Dre in disguise doing damage control. So she names it that in part 2. Now what's funny is that Patreon post from earlier, she had actually stated something about damage control in that Patreon post. Of course, this is Molly doing damage control. This is Molly trying to guard against the damage she's done by lying about all these video clips that are being shown here. But of course, she has to disguise it as if Dre's doing the damage control.
And Dre being a what? Yeah.
Here, I'll read it for you, since you're going to not read it to your audience. Bella is Dre and Vaughn's oldest child. She's planning to open her own alkali vegan food truck. Before this, Dre fiercely shielded the girls from the public, but as they got older, they are now wanting to start their own business, and Dre, being an entrepreneur, is helping them every step of the way. That's where she decided to say what and skip it.
Yeah. He's supporting them all the way, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you're wrong, Molly.
Not blah, blah, blah. Like you're
wrong. You lied about this family.
The blah, blah, blah is her watching Dre and Vaughn support their kids. And that has no content for her, because it disproves everything she's been saying about her the entire time. Exactly.
This was a loving family. They both supported their kids. The content that they streamed, unlike you, Molly, wasn't vitriolic or negative. It was showing the real life of a family. You may disagree with some of the choices they made, but you don't get to sit here and call them abusers. You don't get to sit here and lie and say that they're doing things to their kids, doing things to each other that they didn't do. Thankfully, this is Molly's. This is where Molly GoLightly messed up. Because the past stories with Molly, she was able to do this to people because they didn't stream large portions of their life like Dre and Marvon did. But because Dre and Marvon literally made their money by streaming huge portions of their life daily to their audience. And Molly, either she didn't care or whatever in the beginning because she was seeing dollar signs, or she's finally now really realizing how bad this is for her. This is what's going to take you down, Molly. This is what's exposing you as a person who isn't getting justice for all. You're not getting justice for Marvon. You didn't get justice for any of those other hashtags from before, and you're not going to get them from the future. This is you harassing happy families. Now, the thing that sucks about life is that even happy families go through a shit ton of turmoil, depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
That's just everyone's life. That's every
It's
family.
called life.
So Marvon, and even though he was dealing with massive depression and anxiety and mental health problems, illness, him and Dre made sure that they gave their kids a good life and they shut those problems behind the scenes. And we have the evidence. We have the proof. And puzzle pieces videos are real. We fact checked them months ago. Live for hours and hours and hours.
All you have to do is look at them kids. If you've ever been around
Let's
children,
see.
either as a parent or as an uncle or an aunt or whatever, you can definitely look at them kids and see that they are well fed.
True,
They're happy
but
kids.
again,
They have energy, all this kind of stuff. It's
sometimes
just bullshit.
there's still a monster behind the wings, and that's what Molly plays off of. And she was trying to present that regardless of Dre's posts, she's still a monster in the background. And in reality, it ended up being false. She ended up lying to everybody.
With the bullshit she's trying to put us on in this video.
The bullshit in this video. This is a true and accurate representation of what needed to be shown from a very long live stream to debunk you. How is it bullshit? Explain it.
Yeah, because every kid.
What were some of your favorite things you used to eat
Nice
before
filter.
this way of life, baby? Yes, it is.
You see the daughter right here. How is it a filter? Because you saw Dre and you said, Dre looks really good here. It must be a filter. But the daughter looks normal. Dre looks normal. There's no filter, Molly.
Just more jealousy.
More jealousy. It's always a lie to frame Dre as a bad person, an ugly person. And in reality, Dre is all the things Molly wanted. A successful internet business that didn't come from stalking dead babies, trouncing through graveyards.
Yelling at grandmas. Right?
Yelling at grandmas, trouncing through graveyards looking for stories to abuse, lying on people, doxing people, threatening people, stealing money through fraud raisers. Dre didn't have to do any of that. She had almost 1 million followers based off of showing people her real life, showing people her family.
And the thing is, nobody's saying that Dre and Marvon had a perfect marriage. There weren't like issues and arguments, and this is back and forth.
We've shown the arguments. We've seen them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had disagreements, right?
Yeah.
But
they showed them. They showed that too.
Right.
I've seen Molly be more abusive than Dre and Marvon.
What about Ritz
Me
Bits?
too.
Oh my gosh, that was my go-to whenever I watch a movie instead of popcorn. You just grab.
You gonna explain how Dre's look is a filter when her daughter's right here looking normal, Molly? You do realize that a filter does it to everybody, right?
Ritz Bits and just. And now, what do you feel about our eating now?
Look at Molly's face. You can tell she's getting ripped apart in the inside because UNIRock hadn't been lying. Nonsense hasn't been lying. It's you and Justin and LB that have been lying.
I feel so much better. This has changed a lot. Even this way of life, whenever I eat something, I won't feel tired. I won't feel like...
Rachel Lynn says Molly has a problem with anyone who is pretty or successful. You're right. And you know, it's sad because Molly isn't a young spring chicken, right? She's probably my age. I don't know. And
older. She's older.
She probably is. But what I think is that as we get older, we should be comfortable in our life. I retired years ago. Okay. You can come in and talk all the shit you want about me being on YouTube, and it doesn't reflect on me because YouTube isn't where I get my primary paycheck from. I get it from, my military money. And so when, in the beginning, when Molly was trying to say those things about me, she didn't realize, no, I've already actually worked my career. I've actually, earned my pension. I've done all that. So you can insult me. You can, say things like that, but it's not true. So it's just like water off a duck's ass. Same with Dre. Dre was heavy. She had those insecurities that Molly most likely is facing. And Dre used the diet that she has now to, you know, get skinnier. Something that a lot of us go through. You know, I'm a little overweight myself, but, you know, I don't mind because I'm with my soulmate now, and so I don't have to be attractive everywhere I go. Yeah, I guess I should probably exercise a little more for her, and I'm probably going to, but my point is, it's like, why is it that you act like we need... Molly's married. Supposedly, her husband makes more than enough money to compensate for everything Molly needs. I don't believe that, because if it was true, Molly wouldn't be abusing all of these tragedies to make money. She obviously needs money. She's desperate for it. She obviously needs to feel pretty for some reason.
Yeah, and I disagree with the fact that she needs money. I think that she needs the attention. Like, for whatever reason, she's not getting the attention.
I think it's everything
that she wants in real life, right? The money, I don't think really has a lot to do with it. I think it has to do with the fact that... I don't think
her husband lets her spend the money. I think she did have to go out and make money, and that's why she finally started buying these things that she didn't have before once she got her job. Or either that, or she's not being
possible too.
Yeah, either that or she's not being honest about how much her husband's making, because she acts like he makes a bunch of money.
Well, she also, we have to remember though, this is a woman who has spent her, like, you know, a good part of her life trying to be a reality TV star, right?
Well, true.
So the attention, it's not just the money, the attention
I
of
agree
people
with
like
you.
looking at her all the time, 100% is what drives her.
Oh, hold on.
You know?
Nerd supposedly found something good. I want to see it.
Oh shit.
Yo. Can I take a break from this? Yes. YouTube? YouTube? I'm asking you to take a break. All right, 1 second. Go ahead.
See, she does know how to mute. Yeah. She does know how to mute, guys. When she burps and chomps her mouth in the mic, she's doing it on purpose. Huh?
Oh, she's getting scolded.
Yeah.
That is someone who's got fucking slapped down.
Mm-hmm.
Is he fucking scolding her?
I hope so.
Doing?
I don't
know. You guys,
know.
I gotta go.
Oh, hold up. When is this? When was this? This was just uploaded 2 hours ago. Huh.
Kool-Aid has some, like, Kool-Aid's in the know.
See, you know what it is? There is some shit happening. There's some shit going on in the background. I'm wondering if Dre's actually filed some shit or if she's sending some letters or something, because there's a lot of weirdness. You notice how Molly, for some reason, is still targeting Dre, even though she's not really making a lot of money or getting a lot of views out of it. You know, and why would Molly stream these things? You know, it is very... I gotta go because it's Rachel's birthday coming up after midnight. So, of course, she's telling me I gotta go do some stuff for her, so I'm going to.
You fucking better do some stuff for her.
Well, I know. Well, I gotta go. She wants some things from the store, so I'm gonna go grab some stuff for her. And we've been going about 2 hours, and we did stream earlier, just so you know. But we probably will watch a little more of this because I find this to be fascinating over the fact that this is Molly. I want to know why. I want to know what could ever make her feel like it's a good idea to watch the content that debunks her. You know?
Well, apparently, someone in the live chat was saying that Walter was like actually telling her to get off YouTube.
Oh, like permanently? Get off there for
like
good.
I'm guessing that he may, and like I don't know for sure, but he may have an issue of her doing her bullshit on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, he does that sometimes, just not as much as he needs to. But I'm thinking Walter had an update for Molly. Something happened, and he needed to tell her what was going on, and needed her to get off the air. And so she muted first because she was going to tell him no, and then once she heard what it was and heard how serious it was, she got off the air. But I agree. But my point here is, though, something is going on in the background. And I think if we actually look at Molly's body language and how she chose to deal with this, it answers our question. So real quick, let me give you that before we log out. If you want to support us, by the way, Like, don't forget to like. I know it sucks to have to like the video, but I gotta ask you, until YouTube stops this garbage, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to support me, it's paypal.me/UNIRock. But let me give you what I think is really going on here. So, these videos from Missing Puzzle Pieces have been the clincher. They are taken from Dre's actual Facebook page with all those followers, and there is a large amount of content there. And as we started to cover the story of the fraud raiser, you will remember where I told you that phase 2 was to, after getting the fraud raiser to where we needed it to be, phase 2 was going to be to go in and figure out if Molly, to fact check whether she had good reason to accuse Dre of murder, of starving the kids, or of any of the actual crimes she accused Dre of. Because you do realize Molly was accusing Dre of crimes. She wasn't playing something that Molly did and giving an opinion where Molly was committing a crime or potentially committing a crime. That is completely different from not presenting evidence or presenting fake evidence like chopped up streams like we've proven Molly did back then, and accusing Dre of committing a crime with no evidence or with fake evidence. Those are different things. One is not defamation. If Molly decides to stream herself punching an old lady in the face and I decide to watch it and I say, that's illegal, I'm not accusing her of a crime. I'm playing what she did and I'm commentating on it. But if I tell you that Molly punched an old lady and I tell you it's illegal and she never did, then that could be considered defamation. Cherie says, happy B-Day, happy B-Day, happy B-Day to Unimom, happy B-Day to you. I'll sing at the end, okay? Let me finish this and I will for you, okay? I will. Dang it, Cherie. I'll do it. I don't want to sing, but I'll do it. Now, something has made Molly decide to pull up Puzzle Pieces, a YouTube channel that not only we have been playing and shouting out and sharing almost on a nightly basis, if you go back and look at the few months of from the start of us covering this case, but it's almost as if she's trying to act like this is the first time she's seen this content, so, which is not true. So Molly is lying and acting like it's the first time she's seen the content, and at the same time trying to act like those videos are fake, those videos aren't real, those videos aren't true. Now, there is something that happens due to Molly doing this, so you can kind of look at what Molly is causing and then say, okay, well, obviously that's what she wanted to have happen. She's convincing her audience by lying to them that these are fake videos because she knows these videos were damaging to Molly's content against Dre. So why would she do that to her audience? What would put her in such a desperate position to feel as if she needed to convince her audience that this stuff is fake? Obviously, Molly has realized that unless she convinces her audience of this, she's not going to have a cash cow to make money off of. The protest backfired. Her content against the Quentin Simon case backfired. She hasn't had a viral thing to talk about. She's not getting good views. The money's not coming in. And because of that, she wanted to go back to Dre. You watched her, you heard me and Navy commentate for 2 weeks about how she's trying to go back to the Dre topic, bait the people back from the Dre topic. This is confirmation to our conclusion from then, because this is her trying to damage control, as she put and accused on Dre. As I said, this topic, this is her trying to convince viewers that she wants to keep giving money, keep donating, and she wants to bring them back to where they were when they were giving her lots of cash. And that was back when she was defaming Dre. So she's taking the content that debunked her and she's trying to make an excuse to her audience. You don't have to believe this stuff. You don't have to stop giving me money because you found this stuff and you found the truth that I was lying to you this whole time. You can go ahead and keep giving Molly money because it's fake. Because Dre's lying. Because you're letting Dre fool you. Dre has disguised herself as Missing Puzzle Pieces and fooled you into not giving me, Molly GoLightly, money. That's what Molly was doing. Though, I need some of those clips for some uploads. So the best thing to do if I have to watch something extremely relative that I need clips from is to grab those clips while I'm live. So tomorrow or on my next live stream, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow because we'll be celebrating Rachel's birthday this weekend, but also tomorrow. So when I'm back, we will go through a little more of those streams, and I'll probably have some clips picked out for you when I come back too. So yeah, we'll get there. But okay, so the big question is, could this be legal action from Dre coming in? Do you think it could be? There's a lot of people that feel it is.
I do. Yes.
I agree.
I think that
yeah, go ahead.
her bullshit has gone so far with defamation and everything else, and trying to get her to respond by claiming false accounts of her husband's status, that Dre has to file against her.
Well, yeah. And I do think this is the way Molly would react. I think she would react to getting like a cease and desist or notice of legal proceedings coming at her from Dre. I think she would get panicky and she would want to see for herself what is the how bad is it? Like, how much did I defame this woman? And I think that's why she went to missing puzzle pieces. Though I think that she said to herself the same thing I just said. If I have to watch this, why am I going to watch it offline and pull clips offline when I could stream it, watch it with all of you, commentate through it, and pull clips that way, right? She said the same thing, which there's nothing wrong with her streaming herself reacting to that stuff. I'm glad she did. My point is, oh my God, I gotta go. All right. Rachel's summoning me. It's her birthday, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Unimom. I hope I did it good enough, Cherie. Guys, thanks for watching. Navy, I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thanks, Bobo.
Oh, shit. If you want to support us, it's paypal.me/UNIRock. Like and subscribe. Thank you.